But hey, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're catching the replay, let me know down in the comments. Hi, honey, how are you? Let me apologize for this background. So, I was getting ready to stream in my home office and just like kind of moving about the day, forgot that I had just turned the dishwasher on. And so it sounds crazy out there. And I ain't even want to try y'all like that. So we just gonna be here in my room and we're gonna have a cozy discussion. But I think that this background is actually appropriate because today we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome, how to overcome imposter syndrome, and then how to, in turn, show up more confidently in your business. If you're tuning in live and or catching a replay and you struggle with confidence, let me know down in the comments. This is a safe space. It's okay to say so because my hope, my goal is by the end of this broadcast, you have some actionable tips that you can take away to help with this. And let me kick off by saying this is normal. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Okay? Do you receive? There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You feeling this way is not a sign, okay? It doesn't mean that you weren't built for this. This is not what this means. This is completely normal, and I'm going to talk to you about how to deal with it. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Kyshira. I am a business coach and I actually help other coaches learn how to package their expertise into high-ticket coaching programs and sell them online. I do this through my signature program, the Founder Circle, which you can apply for in my bio or at my website, thepowercollective.co. And yes, I work with all kinds of coaches, not just business coaches. And today is Cyber Monday. So if you did not know, I'm doing a one-day flash sale on my 30 Days of Branding Challenge. It was an excellent challenge when we hosted it live. So you'll get instant access to all 30 days of those lessons and workbooks. It is a pay what you want sale. The minimum is $10. If you're watching on Facebook and Periscope, the link is in the title of this live stream. If you're here on Instagram, it's in my bio. Okay, so we've gotten through all that. Let's talk about how to overcome imposter syndrome. So initially, this broadcast was going to just be called How to Be More Confident in Business. But I can't talk about how to be more confident in business if we do not talk about the root cause. That's like we're putting a Band-Aid on a wound that we haven't healed. We haven't put no antibiotics on it. We haven't taken care of it. We're just going to continue to just cover this thing up. And so if we keep trying to cover this thing up, it's going to continue to resurface. So for those of you who've been thinking, oh, when I hit my first 5-figure month, my first 6-figure year, this is going to go away. For those of you who've been thinking that you're just going to magically become more confident when you hit your goals, you're just going to wake up and roll out of bed like Diddy, that ain't how it's going to go. You're going to, in fact, feel worse than you probably do right now. If you feel imposter syndrome right now when you starting out, guess how you're going to feel when you make $250,000? You're really going to feel like you don't belong. And I think that it's more dangerous to try to wait to fix these things because then you are at complete risk for sabotaging your entire situation and then having to start from scratch. And I don't know about you, but I ain't got time for that. Okay? I ain't got time for that. Right? Someone in the comments says, I'm not a business coach. Is your content for me? Yes, ma'am. My content is for you. If you haven't been here before, if you are new, your edges might get snatched, but just know that I love you, okay? I will provide you with some olive oil when we finish up. Okay, so I Googled, if you've been to one of my mindset chats, y'all know I like to do definitions, right? I Googled the definition of imposter syndrome. According to Harvard Business Review, the definition of imposter syndrome is this: a collection of feelings of inadequacy. That's the first part. A collection of feelings of inadequacy that persist despite evidence of success. What this means is, that's not even the rest of the whole definition. What this means is, no matter how successful you become, if we do not tackle this, imposter syndrome is going to get worse. Imposter syndrome does not go away because of the levels you are rising to. Imposter syndrome rears its ugly head and causes you to feel inadequate, like you're not enough, no matter what. Right? We're relying a lot on external circumstances here to validate us internally. That's why I yell at y'all. I don't yell at y'all. I yell in my Facebook group, but I tell y'all to stop saying you're charging your worth. You, my honey, my dear, are priceless. There is no dollar amount tied to your being. You are, in fact, charging for the value of the offer you are providing. This is why life coaches can charge $20K, because of the value they're providing. They're helping people have a major life shift where they can actually wake up and be happy. Okay? All right? Can we talk about it for a second? So let's get to the rest of the definition. It says imposters suffer from chronic self-doubt. Chronic self-doubt. Now I got to Google the word chronic, because chronic is not a good word, okay? Chronic, the definition of chronic is persisting for a long time or constantly reoccurring. Persisting for a long time or constantly reoccurring. So this self-doubt is persisting for a long time and constantly reoccurring. So again, it says imposters suffer from chronic self-doubt and a sense of intellectual fraudulence that override any feeling of success or external proof of their competence. Now, let me read the full definition again so y'all can digest how intense this is. The definition of imposter syndrome, according to Harvard Business Review, is a collection of feelings of inadequacy that persist despite evident success. Imposters suffer from chronic self-doubt and a sense of intellectual fraudulence that override any feelings of success despite external proof of their competence. The point of me giving you that definition is not to scare you or make you feel bad. The point of me giving you that definition is for you to now put your priorities in the right place and recognize that, like I said, hitting that monetary goal, landing that next customer, getting that next contract is not going to be the thing that causes you to have a breakthrough. In fact, all it's going to do is make your imposter syndrome worse, because your self-doubt is going to continue to be fed, right, by all of the things that you're doing, and it's going to continue to tell you that you're not good enough. This is why I tell you your mindset work is just as important as the hands-on social media learning, all of this and that. Like, it's just as important, right? Imposter syndrome shows itself in your life as statements like, I can't fail. How many of you start projects and you're like, no, I just can't fail. This has to work. That energy is because of imposter syndrome. Now, I'm not saying that we start our project saying, oh, yeah, yes, we want it to work, but that energy of something bad's going to happen if I fail, imposter syndrome. It shows itself by you saying things like, it's all luck. Blaming external factors on either your success or someone else's success. It's because of who they know, right? It's because of the money they have. It's because of their background. It's because of their hair, their skin, or this and that. Now, let's be honest. Let's have I'm all about reality, right? Let's have a little side dialogue. For some people, yeah, it's about their connections and who they know. Okay. But not having connections, not having that background does not mean you can't be successful as well. And so imposter syndrome makes you feel like not only are you at a disadvantage, but it can never happen for you. And then that turns into bitterness, resentment, anger, right? And anger is the lowest vibrational feeling you can have. And you got to work really hard to get out of that. So I'm going to call that out in case you're feeling that, because you want to nip that in the bud. It shows itself by you saying things like, I feel like a fraud. I feel like I'll never be successful, right? I feel like I can't do it. I feel like nobody's going to buy this. I feel like no one's going to like this. I feel like I didn't pick the right niche. I feel like, I'm going to make a bad decision. That's how imposter syndrome shows itself. So now, hearing all of that, let me know in the comments who here is struggling. Are you struggling with imposter syndrome? Are you struggling with confidence? Again, this is a safe space. It's okay to say yes, because I got 1,000,001 steps that I want to give y'all. So if you're not already sitting somewhere with a notebook, I would go ahead and grab it. And I know somebody's going to ask if there's going to be a replay. Y'all know I always give you the live stream replays. On a side note, why y'all be asking me that? If it's a special occurrence and I'm not going to give you the replay, I will tell you that when I promote it. And that's typically if I'm doing like a training, okay? So Let's talk about it. And if you have questions as we go through, I encourage you to ask. Fun fact, did you know that your girl is a certified life coach? Okay. No, I don't offer life coaching packages. I just do life coaching within the Founder Circle, my signature program that helps you create your coaching program. And I do that because I find that coaches tend to spend a lot of their time, personal and professional, pouring into other people and never being poured into. And so I make it my business as the business coach to ensure I'm also adding that life coaching component. But your girl is a certified life coach, so I know what I'm talking about, okay? So I will make sure you have your notebooks out and let's get into it. So first part of this is going to be how to conquer imposter syndrome. The second part of this will be how to be more confident. It looks like I have, because for some reason I drew arrows and not numbers, I have about 6 talking points around how to conquer imposter syndrome. So if you are taking notes, make sure you're ordering appropriately, okay? So first and foremost, let's level set. I like to be realistic. This is not something you're going to conquer in one day. This isn't something that you're going to be freed from because of this live stream. My goal, my job as a coach is to give you tools. It's to give you tools to empower you, but it is up to you to use the tools. I've released myself from any attachment to your result because it is up to you to take action. So do not be frustrated if you do not see results within one day. Anything worth having takes time. We could, everybody understand? Let me know in the chat if you understand. Just put an understand in the chat. We not expecting one day success. Okay, great. So the first thing that you need to do when you are looking to conquer imposter syndrome is recognize the feelings when they emerge. And recognizing those feelings means just really being present and taking note of when they're coming up. So this is something that you can jot down in your note section in your phone, in a notebook. It really doesn't matter. But what I want you to avoid doing is beating yourself up and saying things like, I shouldn't feel this way. Because all you're doing is just making it worse, to be honest with you. And you're belittling yourself even more for feeling these human feelings. So the first step is to recognize the feelings when they occur and recognize how you feel, what you are doing. Like, are you scrolling through Instagram? Were you talking to a particular person? Like, what was happening when those feelings emerged, and document that, because what you're looking for here is patterns. It's really hard to fix it if we don't know where it's coming from or why it's coming up. When you notice it coming up, I want you to assess, one, how are you truly feeling? And ask yourself why you're feeling this way. And 3, do you have any evidence to support these feelings? Okay? So notice how you're feeling. Why do you feel this way? Do you have any evidence to support these feelings? This does not need to be a 12-page journal entry if you don't want it to be. I just want you to continue to document that, because what's going to happen is your human logic, okay, is going to start to take over versus letting your emotions take over, because your emotions are just going to continue to build, grow. Your emotions are just going to tell you, you feel bad. Logic's going to say, when you ask yourself, why do you feel bad? Now you have to start coming up with a reason, right? And then when you say, well, what proof do you have that you should actually feel this way? You got to come up with more reasons. It's going to help to caveat that, okay? So that's that first step. This is going to be weird for a lot of you, especially if you're not someone that journals or documents your feelings. But again, the way to make this easy is don't make it a big to-do. If you want to voice memo it, if you want to put it in your notes app, if you want to put it in your journal, whatever, make it easy. That takes me into the second step. Now that we've recognized these feelings, we've assessed these feelings, it's now time to reframe. It's time to reframe, which means it's time to adjust the picture that we have in our head, right? And that reframe looks like, instead of feeling however you feel, is to instead choose, which we can choose to feel different. So instead of it being, oh my God, I wish I had $100,000 month, it's congratulations to her for having a $100,000 month. My time is coming. And shifting from feeling envious to instead feeling proud or feeling grateful, right? is going to help shift your emotions. And if you even want to take it a step further, you can say something along the lines of, I am so happy and grateful that I have the clients that I have, or the revenue that you have, the $5,000 a month that you have, because you know it's going to blossom into that, into more. Or if you haven't started, I don't want to make it about money, but as a business coach, I hear money comes up the most. So that's what I'm conditioned to teach. But you can insert whatever you need to insert here, because some of you have imposter syndrome about a lot of different things. So you just plug and play with the words, but do not forget the I am so happy and grateful part. Gratitude is going to be huge in your journey, right? So that's going to be something else. And this is going to be a exercise. I promise you're going to feel real weird. Reframing, it takes a little bit of time, but the more you do it, the more your subconscious mind will get accustomed to it. And then that will become your new reality and your new belief. I'll have to find the live stream I did on beliefs, on limiting beliefs, because we really dived deep into truth and beliefs and all of that different stuff. But reframe it in your mind, right? I'm so happy and grateful now. Okay. And if you are, this is like a bonus tip for you. If you are someone that does affirmations and you do visualization or even scripting, I know many people are like, what is scripting? We're not even gonna get into it. But if you do visualization or affirmations, you can even put a futuristic statement there, right? The I am so happy and grateful now that whatever it is you desire. Once you've done the reframing exercise, you then want to reprogram your mind. And reprogramming your mind looks like saying positive things to yourself, number one. Number two, it's choosing to shift how you look at failure. Because a lot of the time, when imposter syndrome is at its worst, is right after something didn't work out for you. So when something doesn't work out for you, when you see something working for somebody else, that's when it really rears its ugly head. So there's a two-part thing. Number one, we have to start saying positive things to ourselves, and we have to stop wanting reality to surprise us. If you say things like, nobody's going to buy this, that's exactly what's going to happen. If you say, nobody is going to attend my live stream, that's exactly what's going to happen. Reality is not going to surprise you. You are going to manifest what you speak. Okay? And even if you say something along the lines of, I hope that, I hope, something, what do I want to say here? I want to give you an example of like a negative statement. Like, I hope that my live stream isn't bad. So with something like that, if you study law of attraction, the way affirmations work, the law of attraction doesn't recognize negatives, right? It just recognizes whatever you said. So if you say live stream doesn't work, that's all it's going to hear, right? So instead of speaking in negatives, just speak in positives. My live stream is going to be excellent. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to have more viewers than I did last time. My live stream is going to touch the hearts of many. My live stream is going to drive clients to my signature offer, my life X, Y, and Z, right? So you hit the difference between speaking that positive versus the, oh, I hope that. No, we're just going to speak life, right? So then that's the second part of this, is reframing how you view failure. I know that y'all have heard once in your life that there is no failure. Y'all probably done heard it 17 million times. If you have, let me know how many times you done heard it in the chat. I know that it's a cliche, but it's 100% true, right? There is no failure. There is only information. There is no failure. There is only information. That's why I'm calling this step reprogram, because you have to reprogram your mind and your beliefs. This is why I told you in the beginning, we made a pact that y'all wasn't going to leave this live stream thinking your life was going to change in a day. I told you when you came up in this joint that you're going to have to implement this time and time again. Make this a daily part of your routine, because that's the only way you're going to see a true shift. You're going to have to undo 20, 30, 40, however many years you've been on this earth, years of programming of what you've seen around you and your family and your communities, on TV, wherever you went to school. Like, you're going to have to undo that and now rewire some new things. So that means this is going to take time. But especially if you are choosing the entrepreneur path, now is the time to recognize that there is no failure. There is only information. You have got to stop taking things so personally in business. If that client did not move forward, why does that mean something is wrong with you? Why doesn't that mean the person just didn't have the money or they wasn't ready to move forward? Why does that mean something is wrong with your business, your practices, your services? Why doesn't that instead just mean, oh, okay, I'm going to my calendar and putting a follow up with them in about 2 to 3 weeks? Why is it if you launch something for the very first time and you didn't have a 50K launch that first time, that means something's wrong with you, throw it away, it's all over, instead of, hey, this was my first time. I made a really great effort. Let me look at the analytics to see where I can improve. It's the drama of it all for me. It didn't work one time. So now something wrong with me, something wrong with my audience, something wrong with my coach, something wrong with everything and everybody. Why? This is why you have to start asking yourselves these questions. This is why you have to start to reprogram your mind. There is no failure. There is only information. And then start saying nice things to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. There's enough people in this world who are going to have a lot of things to say about you, no matter how excellent you are. Let them be the ones to say the bad things, not you. Okay? You don't need that. The next thing that I want you to do, if you can do this daily, I would. Maybe you can make this a part of your morning routine, your nighttime routine, whatever makes the most sense. But the next step is visualize. I'm sorry. I don't know why I stumbled over that like that, but visualize. In the founder circle, in our mindset module, we have a visualization activity called Meet Your Future Self, where I ask my clients to, just go through this 20-minute audio, and it really just helps to shift a lot of things immediately. But it's just something that I recommend we do more often than not. I always say, I'm an only child, so I'm really creative and imaginative, and I say, adults need to daydream a little bit more. So if it feels more comfortable to you to say daydream, then feel free, right? But spend a couple minutes, or as long as you can, visualizing, right? I want you to start to envision the results of what you are doing today. I want you to start to see yourself with whatever it is you desire. And a side note, this isn't even part of the live stream. This is a whole other side note. Allow yourself to want more. Stop settling in your dreams, right? Because it's crazy to me how y'all limit your dreams for just what you think you can get. Oh, in the back of your mind, you really would love to have a 10K month, but you think you're only capable of a 5K month, so that's all you're shooting for. Please allow yourself to dream big. For my Christians that are tuned in, please know that there is nothing in the Bible that says you cannot have more, that you cannot have riches, that you cannot live abundantly. That's not what it says. So stop playing yourself. Stop limiting what you're desiring. Spend time looking in your visions at the fruits of your labor. Start envisioning the money you want, the clients you want, the spouse you want, the family you want, the home you want, the vacations you want, the car you want, the life you want, the impact you want, the influence you want. For me, my vision is the only thing that gets me out of this king bed. Okay? That's it. And nobody can want it more than you. You keep looking for these coaching programs that are going to give you accountability. Newsflash, nobody can make you be accountable. I'm so sorry. And if you are somebody that holds an accountability program, my bad. I'm not trying to offend you, but let's keep it 100. Short of going to their house and literally dragging them out of bed, there's no amount of emails, text messages, and phone calls and trainings that'll make somebody be accountable. That is literally why we took the word accountability off our sales page. Do we have a lot of support? Yeah, but I'm not about to sell you accountability because I can't force it. I can't want it more than you do. You got to want it bad. Now, I'm not saying that means you just work yourself into the ground, you don't take time off, but a lot of y'all be playing, and you playing. You want somebody else to have the right words and the right encouragement to make you do it, but the honest truth is, on your entrepreneurial journey, you got to learn how to motivate yourself and influence yourself, and even know that there's going to be times where you're going to have to do it unmotivated, so that when you are motivated, you don't have to always rebuild some. That's a whole other problem. You always in rebuild mode because you keep dropping the ball for months at a time, weeks at a time, right? I'm off topic, but I needed to get this out because somebody here needed this. This is nowhere on my notes. Okay? The next thing you can do, and we only have 2 more for conquering imposter syndrome, and then we're going to move into the confidence part. The next one is seek support, right? And so if this is something that, like, okay, you're doing a lot of this mindset work and it's just not working for you, this is where you got to go get some support. For some of you, this looks like a therapist, a psychologist. For others, it's a life coach. I know I just hired a life coach. I know I'm at a point in my mindset journey, and Lord knows I done made some strides since 2017, but I'm at a point now where I need to go a lot deeper than I can do for myself. And even when you all know I got certified in Neuro-Linguistic Programming, there are a lot of techniques that I know, but I can't do them on myself. So I went and I hired a life coach. For some of y'all, this is going to be a life coach. For some of you, you might need that and a business coach. Some of y'all need to call me. Some of y'all been playing. And if you've been waiting to call me, you better call me now, honey, because the prices is going up in January. So I don't want your feelings getting hurt. So if you've been wanting to call me, you better get in them DMs, okay? All right. But seek support. And please put the ego and the pride to the side. Seeking support does not mean something is wrong with you. Seeking support does not mean you are not smart. It does not mean that you are weak. It does not mean that you are not talented. The best people, the most successful people, the wealthiest people, they all have support. A lot of multi-millionaires and billionaires have performance coaches, right? A lot of CEOs have board of advisors. A lot of people who have $1 million businesses still have $1 billion coaches. A lot of your faves is in therapy every single week. Why you think you should be any different? Why do you think something's wrong with you if you choose to get help, but everybody you look up to and admire gets help? How, Sway? And if it's a money thing, baby, I get it. That's where your books, right? Books and podcasts and YouTube and lives like this come into play until you're at a point where you can do that. But if you are someone that got some health insurance, okay, you better go get you some therapy. I'm just saying, even if you think you don't need it, go and get it anyway. If you're not whole, you can't pour into other people. If you're not whole, you cannot build your business. Seek support and release any negative connotations you've had. If you've had bad experiences, welcome to the club, honey. We all have, right? But think of it like this. At some point in your life, you have tried on a pair of pants that didn't fit, right? At some point, you done went in one of these stores, or you ordered online and you ordered some jeans and pants and they ain't fit right. You had to get you another size, right? But think about it like that. All you did was get another size. You didn't give up on pants. I hope. You ain't just stopped wearing bottoms. You ain't just out here, right? You just went and got another pair. Same thing with therapists. If you didn't like the first one, go get you another one. Same thing with coaches. If the first one wasn't right, well, spend some more time vetting, but get you another one. One of my clients, we had a quick call the other night, and she re-enrolled in our program, and she was like, she's also working with a different coach in a different niche. She's like, is that weird to have 2 coaches? And I'm like, baby, I have 4. I have 4 coaches. I have a life coach, I have 2 business coaches, and I have a corporate contract coach, B2B. I have 4 coaches and I'm proud. I ain't finna sit up here and act like I ain't getting no help along the way, because that's selling you a dream. And how am I gonna preach to you to do something that I'm not doing? How are you preaching to your audience to make investment, to sacrifice, if you ain't doing it? And a side note, I don't know who in here need this, but please make sure you paying your invoices on time. Because if your coaches and contractors got to hunt you down to get paid, you're going to attract them type of clients that you're going to have to hunt down to get paid. I don't know who that's for. Don't identify yourself. Don't tell your business in the chat. Don't tell that part. But if that's you, you better go on in your email and pay them invoices today, okay? Because you don't want that kind of energy, all right? And then the last one for imposter syndrome It's just giving yourself some grace. I tell my clients this a lot, but please give yourself some grace. Even with these tips, there's going to be some days where you just feel down, right? There's going to be some days where imposter syndrome is going to feel like it's going to win. In those instances, please do not beat yourself up. Please just make sure to give yourself some grace. Be gentle to yourself. Be nice to yourself. Love yourself. This is where you want to pull your affirmations, which, by the way, I do have affirmation cards. I haven't really promoted it like that, but they're 20% off through midnight. If you click the link in my IG bio or go to bit.ly/shift your power cards, use code Black Friday, 20% off. But anyway, this is where you want to pull your affirmations and just say nice things to yourself. Okay, so let's get into the how to be confident part. I had a feeling I was going to have y'all on here all day, but I'm really about to. I got 9 points. I'm going to try to get them out in 10 minutes. So just stay with me, okay? Hold tight. We are almost done. Oh, what is this little notification on Instagram? Y'all can ask questions. It's a whole little separate section. I feel like a senior citizen because I don't know that there's a whole Q&A section on IG, but whatever. I'll get to Honey Bun's question in a second. So, how to be more confident in business. Because initially I was going to say how to show up more confident, but that makes me feel like you're faking it. And I want you to actually be confident in your business. So now that we've identified the root cause of our lack of confidence in the first place, which is imposter syndrome, now we can go into actually becoming more confident. So the first thing I need you to start to do is to let go of your mistakes. Some of you are beating yourselves up real bad over typos and misprints and, stuttering and stumbling and not having something done on time. And now you got to spend time and energy picking yourself back up after beating yourself up. And we ain't got time for that. Okay. A lot of your faves make the same mistakes. A lot of us make typos. A lot of us stumble over our words. A lot of us show up late for something, not on purpose, but sometimes it just happens. A lot of us have had launches that didn't go that great. A lot of us have had periods in life where we did not hit our revenue goals. You don't know that because you ain't know us then. You know us now. You found us yesterday, but we ain't been here since yesterday. We've been here for 5, 6, 10 years, right? You are comparing your current moment to our chapter 20, our present reality. But even in that, with 5, 10 years of experience, mistakes are going to happen. It is part of human nature, right? And it's one of those things where you have to learn how to get over it. I don't know a nicer way to say it. I don't know how to say it gently. So I'm going to just tell it like it is. You got to get over it, honey. Okay? You got to get over it. As long as the error wasn't on the check, it's fine. It's fine. Just double check next time. It's fine. You have got to let go. Some of y'all are holding on to stuff that happened 3 and 4 years ago. You holding on to an embarrassing moment or something that didn't work out. We got to let it go. Remember I said earlier, there is no fear. There is no failure. That is only information. So what? You didn't get that speaking engagement this time. Something's better going to come along. And that better might not come for 6 months, but best believe when it comes, it is going to be worth it. But if you're holding on to what wasn't, you are lowering your vibration and now attracting more of what you don't want. Okay. Number 2 is avoid comparison. This is why we have to talk about imposter syndrome, because you have got to stop comparing what you have and don't have to somebody else. Oh, they use this platform and I don't. Is there something wrong with my platform? Do I need to switch? Oh, they're in this program and I'm not. They're in this Facebook group, but this is what they're doing over there, so I got to do it over here. Or everybody's posting this type of quote on IG, so I got to post it too. And now you so busy chasing up after the Joneses that you are missing what God is actually telling you to do that's actually going to make change in your business and get you the results you want. But you're so busy comparing and trying to catch up with everybody else when in reality you are in a league, in a lane of your own. You are competing and you're not even in a race. There is a lot of money and opportunity in this world. The next person doing something and thriving does not mean you are not. Reprogram your mind. Somebody else winning does not mean that you are losing. And in turn, if somebody else is doing something, that doesn't mean that you have to do it too. If the new trend right now is quizzes as opt-ins, that don't mean drop everything you doing, drop all the ideas you had, and now go build this quiz. Right? I'm giving you a real life example around how sometimes trend hopping can be a negative thing. Yeah, like my Chicago is coming out. I'm sorry. Like, I talk to you all like I'm talking to an old friend. And if I had an old friend who was acting up, like y'all acting up, this is how I would talk to them. So if you're thinking about hiring me as a coach, this is my real personality, okay? Like my clients know I'm in rare form sometimes. I'm nice, but I'm not going to let you play yourself, and I'm not going to let you play small, and I'm not going to let you hold on to things that do not matter. I'm going to force you with all my power to recognize your own strength. And I'm going to force you to play in your own lane. And the clients who listen to me see results very, very fast. There's a correlation, right? So then the next step is I want you to clean up your timelines. If you haven't done this lately, I need you to do this week, this coming week. Clean up whatever platforms you are on, clean up your timelines. And what that means is if there is someone you follow whose content causes you to feel imposter syndrome, comparison syndrome, makes you feel less than, makes you just feel away, I would go ahead and unfollow them. And know that unfollowing people does not mean you don't like them. It's not personal. It doesn't mean that there's a vendetta. It just is what it is. I don't follow a lot of people on social media. I think Facebook I have the most friends, but I don't really look at the timeline. But I don't follow a lot of people for a number of different reasons. But part of it is just honestly my own mental health. And that's one of the downsides of social media. Social media is great. It's amazing. I make a lot of money on social media. But that doesn't mean that even the strongest of wills can't fall victim to that. Because it will even be subconscious where it may not be that somebody's content makes you feel bad, but it might be that comparison thing where it's like, okay, you see 3 people in a row doing a webinar, so now all of a sudden you subconscious like, oh, I gotta go do a webinar, right? Like that can happen and you won't even notice it. So I need you to clean up your feeds, and that's why when we talked about the conquering the imposter syndrome, I said to take note of when these things are happening. So you can even on Instagram and Twitter, you can mute if you want to, but I want you to clean up your timelines. Just follow things that motivate and inspire and entertain you. I follow a lot of planner accounts. I'm really into planning and like agendas and stuff. I follow a lot of planner accounts, a lot of quote accounts, and that's really it. Like on purpose, right? Because if I am gonna scroll through social media, I want to keep it high vibe. And no, again, I told you it's human nature to have that comparison. So clean up your timelines, educational, informational, inspiring, motive. If it doesn't fit in those buckets, then it gotta go. It gotta go. Okay, I'm talking fast because I'm trying to get through the rest of this. I done already had y'all on here for 38 minutes. So the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to start to package yourself for success. And what packaging yourself for success looks like is honestly just putting more effort into what you're doing and no longer throwing things together. So I'll give you an example. So we knew Black Friday was coming literally all year, right? But if we waited until Thanksgiving, and this is no tea, no shade if this was you, but if we waited till Thanksgiving to put together our sale, our emails, our landing page, that's not us putting our best foot forward. We are now doing a rush job. And even if we still saw some results, we're not going to see what we could have saw had we prepared and packaged ourselves for success. So I want you to start to put more effort. Okay? I'm not necessarily saying energy, I'm saying effort. I want you to put more effort into what you're doing. I want you to take more care in your craft. I want you to take more time in how you are presenting yourself, your information, your business, and your offer. Stop throwing stuff together. Stop trying to go and create a rush job ebook because everybody else is putting an ebook out. I need you to have more care for your craft. And if you do that, you're going to in turn be more confident. It's hard to be confident by something that you just threw together and you don't really know what it is or the value it provides, right? So take more care. This is where we have control over things. We have control over how good our products are and how good our coaching programs are. If we don't take time and care, we cannot get on social media with conviction and sell. Unless you're a scammer. But I don't think anybody here is. I typically don't attract scammers. So y'all, that's not you. You have to actually put care in. I'm launching another program next year, and I foolishly thought it would be ready in January. Lies she told. Now it could if it was a rush job, but I can't do rush jobs. I actually care about my clients. I care about what I do. I care about the experience that I give. You can't do rush jobs, okay? The next thing I want you to do is I want you to start to practice mindfulness. There are a ton of books on mindfulness. There are a ton of YouTube videos you can watch, and everybody practices a little bit differently. But how I practice mindfulness, this looks like taking time out to meditate, even if I don't want to. If you follow me on Twitter, I talked about my new nighttime routine. That is a real routine, and it takes a lot of energy for me to actually do it because it's a new routine. So when something's new, it's hard to stay consistent with it until you built it into a habit. So I know that I'm going to feel resistance for a while I'm doing it, but I also know that the routine that I am doing is going to pay dividends for my business, my mental health, my personal well-being, things like that. And if you're interested in knowing what it is, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to tell you. But like I said, I don't want to have y'all here all day. But practice mindfulness. So again, that looks like, for some of you, meditation. That looks like journaling. That looks like taking mindful walks, taking breaks throughout the day, just being more present in the here and now, eliminating that multitasking spirit that some of y'all got. But practicing mindfulness can really help with confidence, because sometimes you feel you're not feeling confident simply because you have so many different things pulling at you and that are going on, that you feel like you're on a sinking ship and you feel like you're losing control. So one way to beat that is being more present in the moment and being more mindful. Another thing, number 6, this one's going to be quick, but this one is just practice. And practice simply means making sure that you're dedicating time to get better at your craft. So if you are in a coaching program, make sure you're actually taking time to watch the content and show up to your calls. If you've bought courses and you ain't logged in, now's a good time to put time on your calendar every single week for your own growth and development. Make sure that you're keeping on top of your industry around what's happening, and just making sure you're sharpening your toolkit. I feel like, we're all experts, but we have still a lot of learning to do, right? There is no finite point of, okay, no more learning, right? So just being open to continuing to practice what you do and getting better at what you do. I am always looking for opportunities to get better at my coaching techniques. My clients will tell you in the founder circle that I'm always building something, right? Because I'm looking for ways to make it easier for them to learn and execute. How can I speed up your success? And how can I make it easier for you to actually do what I'm teaching you how to do? So that's going to come with practice for me. Number 7 is get out of your own way. Stop putting parameters around what you should do and just go for it, right? Getting out of your own way looks like stop telling yourself that you're not ready for opportunities. If you got an opportunity and it scares you, accept it, because that's how you know it's the right one, right? If it's an opportunity where you're like, okay, this is going to be fine, it's going to be easy, it's not going to grow you at all, it's not going to challenge you. You need something that's going to scare you. You need something that's going to intimidate you, because it's going to force you to rise to the occasion, and it's going to force you to unlock a new level within you. And those opportunities that scare you, whether that's a contract, a speaking engagement, a paying full client, joining a new coaching program at a fee that you was like, girl, bye, but I'm gonna do it. Those are the things that forced you to level up. It's never the comfortable decisions. It's never the comfortable investments. Those are not the ones that are going to move you to that next level and unlock that abundance you are desiring. It's going to help you get to that next level version of you. Even think about where you are right now, right? Give yourself grace if you're not happy with where you at. It's okay. Give yourself some grace. But even think about where you was before this moment, right? What you had to go through, the shifts you had to make. Think about an opportunity you took that scared you and how you changed because of it. That's not gonna stop. That's going to keep happening. So you have to stop being in your own way and stop, putting parameters around what you're capable of doing and engaging in. The next one relates, embrace new opportunities. I'm not going to go into that one. And my last one is to be honest about what you still need and what gaps you have. So confidence does not mean fake it till you make it. It does not mean tell lies. Confident people have self-awareness. They have emotional intelligence. They're clear on their strengths and weaknesses. As you grow your business, part of this looks like recognizing where you have weaknesses, and weaknesses is not a bad thing. We are not going to be good at everything, but having a keen eye on that can help you hire the right people. It can help you understand, do you really need a VA right now? Or do you need a graphic designer? Do you need an operations person? Do you need a web person? This is going to help you have discernment around investing in the right team, the right technology, the right professional development so that you can rise to the next level. But if you are blind and have no self-awareness, you're going to make a lot of costly mistakes. You're going to be doing things on your own that you shouldn't be doing and slowing down your timeline, being the bottleneck in your own business. You're going to invest in the wrong programs. You're going to buy technology that you don't need because somebody else had it. You're going to hire people who you don't really need, or you don't know how to leverage them because you see everybody else hiring, right? Everybody else got a VA. Everybody else got an OBM. Everybody else got this, I'm going to get this too, and they don't even really make sense for your business. Everybody's business models are not the same. So be honest about what you actually need. Be honest about where you truly need to grow and support. Be honest. So this was a lot. I gave you all 6 steps on how to conquer imposter syndrome, and I gave you 9 steps on how to be more confident in your business. It is my sincere hope and prayer that you learned a lot from this training. I don't know what this was. It was just talk, and took a lot of notes away. But with that, I'm going to transition into some questions that I saw come through. So one came through on IG. And someone asked, how do you decide if group or one-on-one is the best coaching option for you? I'm not sure if Honey Bunches is still here. I'm going to answer it from 2 perspectives. So I'm going to first answer it from the business owner perspective of should you create a group program or a one-on-one program first? If you have never coached before, or you freelance coached, you haven't really charged high ticket, you haven't really been able to see consistent results from what you do, you need to do one-on-one coaching first. When you pivot to group or you pivot to course, what you are saying is my framework is strong enough that it will work for a variety of circumstances. Because let's be honest, even if you only attracted your ideal customer, they're all going to have different circumstances and scenarios. So you have to vet your frameworks time and time again to ensure that you're getting consistently strong results before you pivot to course and group. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of risk with that, and you're going to be consistently rebuilding your curriculum. You're going to have to consistently, and it's a lot of work to rebuild a group program and refilm a course and do all of that. So, and you're going to know intrinsically after doing one-on-one when it is time to move on. There is no definitive number of how long you should do one-on-one or how many clients. I've been doing one-on-one coaching since 2013, and I'm only just now eliminating one-on-one coaching from my business model. right? So you don't have to do it as long as I did. I enjoy one-on-one coaching. I feel like there's a negative connotation around it, but you need to be able to stand on your frameworks with confidence. A lot of you aren't putting enough skin in the game to get enough consistent results. 2 or 3 clients getting results is not consistent. You need to do more than that. So that's that. The second part of her question, so the second angle is you as a student. How do you know if you should do a one-on-one program or a group program to get the help that you need? I will tell you that I am a product of only group programs. I have never had a private coach. I think that my life coach that I start with in 2 weeks is my first private coach ever. I've only ever been in group programs, and I am a byproduct of those. And I look at me, look at my results, right? And so the thing is, with group programs, I think that sometimes we have a negative connotation because there are some programs where the group experience is just solely coming to calls and asking questions and that's it, versus a high level group program like what I have, where there's an actual roadmap that tells you where you should be throughout the entire time, that has proven frameworks that you are learning along the way, that allows you to customize your journey. And our program has way more than group calls. Our group calls are only 1/4 of what you get in our program. We also have personalized feedback calls. We have our online curriculum, which is ever growing. And we have our support community that I'm in every day, Monday through Friday, right? And then there's also that group piece where a lot of my clients meet outside of our group. They have their own Zoom calls and they text. And so then there's also that. A lot of the friends that I have in business right now, I've met through group programs. The people that I've talked to the most in the last 6 months in my phone, if you were to look at my phone, are my mastermind friends, women around the world that I've never met in person, but we're in the same group program with shared interests, and we now are each other's friends. We text and we chat and we FaceTime and we do all of the things, right? So there's this community aspect that I think that is invaluable, that I don't think people really understand how powerful that is. But again, like I said, I get why people feel that way about group programs. So my challenge for you, if you are looking for a coach, is to lower your guard around group programs. All group programs are not created equal. Start to do more due diligence on what's included, right? A telltale sign that it's a strong program is if there are proven frameworks. The sales page, like ours for the Founder Circle, should tell you exactly what you're going to learn and walk away from. There should be some form of online curriculum, or if not, some kind of live trainings that go along with the coaching, because it is my firm belief that you can't maximize coaching calls if you don't have enough information to ask the right questions, if that makes sense. So that's something else for you to consider as well, if that's something that you're thinking about doing. But yeah, spend time doing your research and vet, and make sure that you're picking the right program for you. I do think that if we spent a little bit more time like reading up on these programs versus buying into popularity and pretty graphics, no shade, we would have better outcomes and better experiences. So I hope that this was a good answer to your question. Oh, you are still here. Deidre, I hope this answered your question. If you have a follow-up, drop it in the chat. The other question that came through from Nakia was she wanted to know my new nighttime routine. I wish I had my planner in front of me because I have it written down, and this is the wrong order. I'm just tell you of how I remember it. So, y'all know Yoga with Adrienne on YouTube. She has a couple of like short bedtime yoga videos. They're like 7-minute one, is a 12-minute one. So I like bookmark all of those. So I do some kind of bedtime yoga because I need to stretch at night. Like I just need to like release, you know what I'm saying? So I do some type of bedtime yoga. I do journaling. I don't have a limit on how long I journal. I read for 10 minutes. If I go, and I allow myself to go longer if I want to, but if I'm really sleepy, that 10 minutes is all she wrote. And that number initially came from me basically saying, how can I make this easy? And I'm like, 10 minutes is nothing. I can do anything for 10 minutes. So I read for 10 minutes. The YouTube channel is Yoga with Adrienne. That's the YouTube name, Yoga with Adrienne. Okay, so there's yoga, journaling, reading. Oh crap, I'm gonna have to give my journal for y'all. Yoga, journaling, reading, and then I do either a guided meditation or hypnosis. Do not look at me like I'm crazy. I am a certified hypnotherapist, by the way, and I purchased a couple of hypnosis programs, and so I have like a 20-minute one and a 30-minute one that I can do. They're all about like mastering your vibrations. So I do either one. It really just depends how I feel. And there's like 2 more things, but I can't remember. So if you wanted to know the nighttime routine, join my Facebook group. I'll post the nighttime routine in my group when I end this live. So I'm going to have to go and get my planner. I can't remember the rest of it, but those are 4 of the 6 things that I do. Aromatherapy shower is another. I mean, I always shower at night, but I use aromatherapy that I get from Bath and Body Works. So that helps. Okay, so that's that. All right, another question that came through is, how can you tell that you're ready to start coaching or training to be a coach? Really good question. I don't think that there's a perfect time to become a coach. I would say just go for it. My Facebook group is called The Power Circle, and it's linked in my IG bio. It's also linked in my Facebook business page, but I would suggest that, becoming a coach is more of a choice versus deciding that you're ready. So I've helped all kind of people become coaches. I've helped product business owners become coaches. I've helped freelancers become coaches. I've helped 9-to-5ers become coaches. The core thing you want to ask yourself is, what's my proven expertise? So if you are in a 9-to-5, what are you really good at your job? What are people always asking you for at your job? If you are freelancing, what are people always asking you for outside of work? That's how my first business was resume writing, because everybody I went to college with kept calling, being like, hey, can you write my resume, my cover letter? Can you help me prepare for interviews? That was constantly coming up. If you are a product-based business owner, what in-depth knowledge do you have? If you are doing done-for-you work. So I've worked with a number of web designers or graphic designers who wanted to pivot from doing work to now coaching others on how to do it. So it really just depends on your expertise. But in our program, the Founder Circle, we teach you how to take what you're good at and turn it into a strong program. So I don't expect you to come into my program and know how to build a coaching practice. Like, that's my job to teach you. So I teach you how to build your frameworks. I teach you how to figure out how many coaching calls to have and what extra to add. I teach you how to figure out how to deliver consistent coaching experiences, how to build your coaching manual, how to create your action items and assignments, how to craft your messaging, how to figure out who your ideal client is, and then how to sell it, right? And I teach you what you need to know. And then all of the extra stuff is like the bonuses at the end. And so the reason I say that is, I want you to come in knowing that a lot of the stuff you see online is not required. Is not required. So, things like the Facebook group I have, for example, it's a great group. I love my group, but having a Facebook group is not required to hit 6 figures. So we teach you that in our bonuses after we get through building your program and launching on social media. A lot of the stuff that we think about, like paid ads, a lot of that stuff is extra, is not really required. If you have strong messaging and a strong framework and you follow my live launch formula that I give you, the clients will come. I've had ladies in my program who just changed the messaging they had on their IG bios, and they started to get DMs. I had 2 in the same day where they got DMs like, oh, your messaging really resonates with me. Tell me more about your program. Or I had one client who got on live and she had literally said her new messaging, how she introduced herself. And people started to ask her about her program versus her having to pitch it. And that's why I teach what I call magnetic messaging and client attraction, where I want you to have the kind of business where clients come to you, they are attracted to you, versus you having to go out and get and dig and pull and fight and tug and all of that. You will still, of course, get objections and blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean that you're going to have an objection-proof business, but at the same time, for the most part, you should be attracting a lot of the right people who are going to be ready today, who are going to say yes today. So our framework is amazing. I firmly believe that my curriculum is unmatched and it is unbeatable. One of my clients, she just told me her first launch was a 10K launch. This was her very first time. I had another client who hadn't seen enrollments in her coaching program since January. She joined our program in July. She had a 50K launch the first go around with my methods. The methods work. The methods work. If you are a coach and you are not making consistent money, if you are not making at least $5K a month, you need to come in my program. I've met a couple coaches who have a little bit of resistance. They're like, well, it sounds like it's for beginners. I'm going to be 100 with you. If you're not making at least $5K a month, you need the beginner material. Even if you've been taught this before, 9 times out of 10, you haven't been taught it the way that I deliver it. And also, you have to be coachable and be teachable. A couple years back, 2016, when I was drastically undercharging and doing all of the things, I had a coach tell me the same thing. Like, you need to, go back to the drawing board. And I humbled myself and I did it. I went through rebuilding my ideal customer and this, and this. And I just did it with a fresh set of eyes. And I'm like, I'm going to just trust the process. And that's how I saw results in the beginning. A lot of you don't want to trust the process. You have this ego that says you already know it. And this ego that says all I need is sales help. But I'm like I said, if you already have strong enough messaging and a strong enough offer, you should already be at least $5K a month. Then you can use our sales help to get to $10K. But if we're not even at that basic level, we got to go back to the drawing board, and that's okay. This is the other thing. It's okay. Nothing is wrong with you if you need to go back to the basics. If you don't have a strong foundation in your business, it is going to show. If you made money once in all of 2020, right, in your business, the reason that happened, the foundation wasn't strong. It wasn't strong. It's gonna show, right? So I would suggest that you open yourself up to support and open yourself up to being taught again. And it's crazy how something can sound different after you've had a little bit of experience. It's like, oh, that resonated a whole lot differently this time than the last time. Period. Can you join if you are not a coach? I mean, that's your business. If you want to, you can shoot me a DM. I've had people who provide done-for-you services before. So I've had an accountant. I've had someone who does like your ops back-end setup, people who do done-for-you. I've had them join. If you are a product business owner and you do not want to coach, you only want to sell your product, my program is not for you. I can refer you to somebody, though. I have a friend in my mastermind program who has a product program. If you want her information, DM me. But yeah, so the founder circle, my intention was not to pitch this program, but if you want to learn more, go to thepowercollective.co/apply. We have a really long page for you to read about the program, and you can submit an application to join. If I'm going to read over your application, if I have questions, I do message you personally, so don't be surprised. But if you are accepted, I will then give you access to an advanced 4-part training. This training is really important to watch because it's going to show you how our methods and frameworks work in real life. So I give you examples of how your coaching business could look and the different kind of offers you could have, and literally how you can make $100,000 in a year with one program and 30 clients. I'm not kidding. So it's going to really break down what I teach. And if you like what you hear, then you're going to be a good fit for the program. If you don't like what you hear, if you're like, oh, this isn't for me, that's your prerogative, but like that's going to be like the next steps in that process. So thepowercollective.co/apply. Don't forget, Cyber Monday is still going on. It is on until midnight tonight. The link is in my IG bio and in the title of this live stream. With that, I'm going to talk to you loves later. Have an amazing rest of your Monday. Have a good night. Bye.